We'll get a zoom on it before I just take a sample.
That would be great.
All right, Marley, go ahead. Oh, there's a bunch of them.
Yeah, I think it's all one sponge, just grows in different tubes.
Cool.
Even that yellow part up front?
No, that yellow part I
that's
think is something
different.
else.
Yeah.
Oh,
And a Thanea in the background.
Lots of stuff.
Very cool. All right, full wide there, Marley.
I want a tunica.
I'm gonna push in there, Marley, please. That is wonderful. Thank you. So I'll go for just one of those little stalks here. Is that a good plan? Maybe
That sounds
one or
good.
two.
One or two would be great, and kind of away from the other sponges. Or
Sure. Is this a good grab for you here?
Yep, looks great.
Great. Roger that. Thank you.
We need to name this too. It's just tube sponge, so the straws.
Yeah, we
look like a
sting.
loofah.
Well, I was going on the food theme.
Abby calls
the cannoli.
Abby calls this one webby tubes.
Webby
because
tube.
they thin out at the top of the tube. Nicely done.
All right. Are we gonna do a quick push? Shrimpy.
Get out, little shrimpy.
All right, full wide there, Marley.
He wants to go for a trip too.
I would not want to go on this trip. Yeah, he should abandon sponge. We should give him some advice.
He wants to go see the anchovies.
Tom, I think when they're flattened like that, they look like crepes. If we want to continue the food theme.
I'm sure there's already a crepe sponge.
I don't know if there is a crepe sponge.
Ooh, this could
Not
be
that the name is.
Could have them with the pancakes.
Not as the name. We have a taco sponge.
Box coming out.
Roger that. Awesome. Oh, I'm so floaty right now.
There's our thorny head, but I don't see much of our mud. There's a little bit.
Interesting while we're bouncing around so much.
Sweet.
All right.
Nice.
Thanks, Kim. That was C, correct? Oh, yes. Sorry, that was C indeed. Great. Thank you. Sure thing. Oh, look at that. Hagfish got a little anchovy in its mouth.
Already
Feeding the
scavenged.
hagfish.
I wonder why they stopped tracking us at that certain point. Too close to the bottom. Whoa, that's
It's a pretty cool shot. Marley, you want to zoom in there a bit?
heterocony. Now I know it.
Sounds good.
Hexocorallium is probably a coral.
So
That
Tom,
would be.
What gives that away?
Hexa.
What gives what away?
Corallum. There we go. Second part.
So the interesting thing about the heteroconies are these little tendrils at the bottom. Little white things sticking out.
oh yeah.
Those aren't like the sweeping tentacles of the other ones.
Kind of like that. I don't know what their purpose is, but they're down there.
They look like a holdfast from kelp. They have the
They
same
do.
sort of structure.
Probably similar function then. That's cool. So they grow up from the top. You can see the goiters starting up
So Tom,
Yep.
would you like us to keep looking around here, or do you want us to start heading over to that waypoint?
I think we've sampled enough here. What do you think, Erica?
Oh, we could go all day. We better move.
there.
Yeah.
Roger that.
So how far away from the waypoint?
Yeah. Oh, I think we're about 200 meters. Maybe more.
Then maybe we could do a transect that way. What do you
Oh
think?
yeah, definitely. So we're going to be, the map is very confusing with the contours, but we're actually going a little downslope to V. I mean, it's going to be a little rolly, but it's mostly downslope. But I'm not certain that it will be a problem if for visual. I don't think it's super intense, but
Roger that. I think, again, the waypoints are just there as guides.
yeah,
So if we need to switch direction slightly to stay even, or to keep the image good, then we can do that.
the only way to do that,
I can also just lateral and drive sideways, so that's not a problem.
yeah, because it's going to be downslope, just rolly in all northerly direction. We're on the southern part of this reef. So let's just try straight to 020, and Jess needs to make some heading change for visual. It's going to be probably in 100 meters. So,
020,
roger that.
Raj.
okay.
And we're going to be starting our transect now?
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's start it.
All right. get all of our stuff dialed in, then I'll get started.
Someone's going to have fun counting all the sponges.
Oh yeah.
So many sponges on the sponges too.
Spongeception.
Yeah, sponge.
And as we go, look under the lips of rocks, large rocks, for little grayish, bluish, grayish fish. Those would be the ruby-nosed Bertula that we were talking about the other day.
All right. Well, I am pretty happy here. If you guys are happy with this.
All right, I'm gonna mark it.
Works for me.
Roger that.
Yeah, if you want to remark the time, it's just gonna take about a minute for the ship.
So, Tom, do you think the gray platey one, right where the lasers are now, is a different one than what we sampled, or the same?
You know, I was wondering that looking around, so I think we'll wait till Abby gets up and we'll have her decide. But we can always, after the end of transect, depending on what we have, we can scavenge some more. Because I know she wants one of the Stercolyptus too. The white faces.
Well, we can't hog all the fun.
We could fill it all the way up and then everybody else has to just do transects the rest of the day.
Oh my gosh, that sounds pretty funny, but.
Sounds like something Jess wants.
I don't mind that.
No.
Well, I gave her 2 easy ones right now, so the next ones aren't going to be as easy. I'm going to have to go behind a boulder to grab it for you.
There,
Behind a boulder.
It's going to be a blind grab.
a whole different level of consideration.
Interesting.
With the lights off.
Nope, let's not grab this. The degree of difficulty is too small.
How about just
the
seclusion
Olympics.
by anchovies?
That would have been good to grab one anchovy.
She grabbed several, just not with the cloud.
So did the hagfish, though. So.
With the technician's hat on, all I can think about is how ripe that vehicle is going to be until we find all the anchovies.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, so there's a mushroom coral. So there are some corals here.
See that flat purple thing on the right?
It's a deep sea sole.
Oh, that was? Okay.
I think so.
Cool.
So talking about ripe vehicles, I used to be in the Delta submersible. It's a two-person submersible, and it had ballast tanks on the front and the back. And when we'd get in schools of anchovies, they would just swim in, and then when it was on deck, there was no way to get it out because it was just like a steel ballast tank.
Oh, God.
So you would just smell this as you go by, and there was nothing you could do about it except the next time you went under to try to just cross your fingers that they would pop out.
Oh gosh.
God.
Yeah. It's not bad when you're underwater. It's when you're working on it on the deck. There's a big short spine thorny head. So we have what? Macaulay, the yellow sponges. Could be Arabdicaulyptus, the brown one. What'd you call those also? Sheepdogs?
Well, that's what we were calling them in Olympic Coast.
Yeah, there's a few of these with that brown exterior. It looks like a knocked over heterocony. Tube sponges.
Crumpets and
Crumpet
lots of
right there.
mound sponges.
Yeah, we should be on the lookout for the moldy Swiss cheese too, so.
So, was that the little, it looked grayish with the really thin oscula that coming out at the end of the dive, and it was just a couple centimeters long? Was that confirmed?
It would be pretty small, yeah.
Yeah.
They're usually like less than 10. So it's more like when we stop and we're looking at the rocks that you'll see them.
Yeah. Yeah, we
And they
got one
grow
at
like
the
a
end of
little-
that dive and didn't realize that that was it until after.
Yeah.
I think we may have even gotten two.
Oh, yeah?
Collected a rock. I might be wrong, but there was a small sponge on it that I think was also moldy cheese.
Super cool.
The same
And
dye.
there was a
Abby definitely has a lot
gray,
of sponges of interest.
yes, a gray Death Star.
Which is a more accurate Death Star than the green type.
They come in red also.
Oh, whoa. The Martian Death Star.
Look at that
Oh,
heterocone.
we're getting some Peristinella in here.
Wow.
Yeah, we're starting to get some Gorgonian corals, the white fans. Of course, now they're not there, but we passed over 3.
I did see a couple.
So you
Okay.
got a good drop off here.
Yeah.
Can confirm, Tom.
And there's a Paragorgian coming up.
It is going to be
And a
steep probably
Spestipluma
for
right
another
there.
bit. Looks like maybe 50 to 80 meters. So yeah, as we come down this steep part, if you want to have Jess change her heading to be a little more along slope for visual.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Roger that.
Wow, I would
I wonder,
want to be counting.
Oh, I need software, please.
This is where they earn their money.
Aren't they unpaid intern? No.
Yes.
I was going to say, they actually pay grad students now?
Yeah, well, the problem is the time it takes to teach people this,
Oh, yeah.
that if you don't pay them, and we've done that before where you just get youngins to come in and start looking at the stuff, and it doesn't necessarily come out the best.
Then you end up with some real expertise doing this work.
All right, turning my heading now.
Tom, do you guys have a means of marking everything as you count it so you know what has been counted?
Yeah, generally
Just
what they do is they will just watch it on video, and when it passes the lasers, so they do like a line. And since it's ROV, it's always moving forward from front to back, or generally. So it's easy to count that way. I know when you guys have your counter basically on there to count things for your program.
right, the 1, 2, red, blue. There's an IKEA lamp.
There is an IKEA lamp. Look at that. Very white.
Well, I've done images with brittle stars or even square spots or rockfish where you just get lost if you don't have a way to keep track of what's been counted.
Totally. I've done that with many a time when you're on the videos with, as you say, half bandids or pygmies, square spots, any of those little rockfish. And you basically do it by the second because there's so many in a video frame.
I can't imagine a video. Wow.
It goes very slowly. There's
Do
a
a
little
little bit
something
of
for
it.
everybody. Nice puffball sponges. Hey, there's a rockfish. Look at that. There's an aurora rockfish right there. Another dead heterocony with sponges all over it.
I wonder what makes them such good substrate.
No, there's lots of little nooks and crannies maybe. And Meredith says she saw a tiny Swiftia fan. I didn't see that one.
I only see about half of what Meredith sees. She's pretty good at picking things out at a distance.
So that's
I think
another
she has
aurora rockfish.
X-ray vision of some sort.
She calls to them. They wave at her.
This is a very cool reef. Nice.
Is this better than a mud transect?
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Abby would call this a sponge garden. So many different shapes.
And you look here at these two dead heterocony, or three, I guess there's one after it.
Tunicates all over one.
Brissinger star there.
This could be your next screensaver right here.
2 screensavers and 1 dies. Feels like you're going into the screensaver business.
It's how we can fund these trips.
We can do more than screensavers, guys. It's gonna be good. Don't worry about it.
Marley has a plan.
Yeah.
Screensavers and more. Just the diversity in all these sponges, it's amazing.
Tom, is it unique to see this much diversity? I mean, I've never seen this many sponges in one place before, but is it a unique thing
There
to
are
see so many
certain
different
areas.
kinds?
There definitely are certain areas that you see a lot. Daisy Bank, up off of Mid-Oregon, has a lot like this. This area at these depths, we were talking about Piggy Bank yesterday, just across from us. Here has it on their slopes similar to this, so it's, I guess, kind of a continuation. But there's not, out of all the times that we've been sampling, there's not too many places that have it like this. Because there's probably 30 different sponges in here with a mix of smaller corals mixed in and around.
So do they have any differentiation in like the size classes of particles they're most able to get, or not much?
You know, I couldn't,
differentiation.
I don't know that much about sponges. When Abby comes, we can all quiz her. But,
Write down your questions.
Everyone.
We'll
Sponge
open it
number
up for just sponge
27.
questions. But yeah, it seems like, why are they so diverse
Right.
if they're all eating the same thing? Because they're all in the same habitat.
Wow, this is an analyst's bad dream.
Would you like to count these, Erica? Is that what you're saying?
No, thank you.
Will they be relieved to see the sponges after so many muddy transects?
Yep, the analysts will be all happy. It's like, mud, 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 yay, look how fast. And then they'll hit this and just,
Trial by sponge.
A screeching halt.
So I can see there's a coral on this rock, a Gorgonian fan right
Right in the
there.
middle, yeah.
Yep. So if you're watching, Meredith, are you calling that Plumerella? Because I can't, we're straight on. Actually, it kind of looks more like Peristanella.
Yeah, it does look peristanella.
Yep, that's what she said. There's a black gill rockfish above the lasers. Or is that a thorny head? That's a thorny head, never mind.
Looks like, is it mushroom coral on that rock? The
Yeah, those
heteropeltis?
little red dots. Yep, Meredith said the same thing. There's some Pharea to the left.
Couple little spots of it.
Like almost any sponge you want is here.
Seems that way.
Abby could spend the rest of her career here.
Seen several of those large barrels like the one just coming through center now. She has one she calls massive barrels. And she mocks us for the names that we come up with.
We just try to be a little more creative.
Paint a picture.
I think this current's about 0.4 knots if I let go of the 6.
That's probably why they like it here so much.
Yeah.
I was going to say,
So you're saying
all the
this is
food flowing through.
So right now
This-
I'm not doing any laterals.
What did you say the current is, Jess?
I'd probably say it's around 0.3, 0.4 knots.
Well, there's an anthoptylum in a rocky-ish area. I wonder.
So you don't have to do any work today at all. It's just taking you in.
I don't know, all I had to do is actually go against the current to push me into the slope a bit. Lower speed. Yeah, 0.3 knots for a current.
Might calm down when we come down slope or
Yeah.
get off this.
Well, you're doing a great job.
Well, thanks, guys. 4 to 8 A team.
That's right. Woohoo! The A team and the fun team.
Represent.
It's especially easy to say when nobody else is up.
Nobody can debate us on it.
Tom, did you have t-shirts made?
Ooh.
There's another
No.
anthoptylum there. It's going out to the left.
Oh yeah, there it is. Okay, see it.
Yeah, we need to look for some of those once we're off transect to see if they're the suction
Oh, if they're
cup
on the
ones.
rocks or not. Yeah,
Yeah.
good call.
I suppose it's a Canadian perspective, but whenever somebody says A team, I'm thinking EH with a question mark.
It's very Canadian.
But that could also be very appropriate.
A?
A
What?
squirrel tail.
That anthoptylum looks like it's in the mud.
Yeah, as soon as we're getting off this slope, they're less sponges.
And how far have we gone?
We're about 170 meters from the start.
Roger that.
The annotators can start breathing a sign of relief.
And Jess has her squirrel tails back.
I love these things. Cool. All I'm seeing are squirrel tails and marshmallows right now. Is that a skate to the right? Or is that just
I believe it is.
Yeah.
All I can see is a tail.
Long nose.
Yes, it is. Of course, at this depth, you know, that's pretty much a good guess anytime. Those clear tunicates on the dead heterocones are interesting because that's pretty much the only place we see them.
Well, that's good timing. The end of the transect equals end of the sponges.
Not for the person reviewing it.
Looks like these are, what, the Phanea?
Yeah.
The hairy monks.
Yep.
Yeah, the is super accurate and stuff.
Have we come that last 30 meters?
Less 10 meters, less
Roger.
12.
Well, that was fun.
Yeah, that was cool.
Let's do it again.
I think we will when we go up the other side.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if it'll be on both sides or just one.
That will be interesting to find out.
Yes, so I think we have come 200 meters.
Roger that.
Endo transect.
Yeah, it looks like this other ridge may have an even steeper slope on the other side, the eastern side.
Sounds good. I see a couple more rocks coming. There's some sponges.
Great, thanks. Great. So they got
This is like a Salvador Dali painting. The melting sponges.
Could we zoom in on the coral that's just to the left of the lasers?
Yeah, sure thing. Let's see if we can find it here.
It's the white ones by the white sponges.
Oh, yeah, I see.
And there's just so much in here.
Yeah. That's a good parking spot. All right, Marley, go ahead.
There's a Acesta clam off to the left. Small paragorgia.
Yep, there's a lot in here. That little paragorgia, the clams, the sponges. Lots of life. Thank you.
Sure thing. Full wide, Marley.
A little sculpin there.
Oh, I missed a sculpin? Oh, man.
I know, those are your favorite, eh?
I like them. I know I was eating something red.
I think those are the Glyptolithodes crabs.
This IKEA lamp, the sponge that's got all these things sticking out, to the white one to the right. They're just very bright. They're very clean looking.
Yeah, we were able to grab a piece of one up in Santa Lucia.
Cool. We don't need to sample that.
I guess it has as much to do with the substrate as it does the slope. Maybe even more the substrate.
Yeah, it may have to do with the currents. Getting some more on the slope than they are on the flats.
Lots of the Peristanella in there.
These are.
Can we zoom in on this fuzzy stuff right in front of us?
Yeah, sure.
Clavularia growing on this dead heterocony. I'm also just zooming in looking for other stuff as we go along.
Roger that. All right, Marley, go ahead.
This is kind of an encrusting coral. Just kind of grows along like patches of anemones.
Interesting. And come a little wide there, Marley.
So just to the right of this, in between this dead sponge and then there's a barrel sponge, I think there's another squirrel tail.
Nice.
Could
Full
we
wide,
take a
Marley.
look at that?
Yeah, sure. We can do a snap zoom, but I'll have to pick up and leave. I'm getting under Argus there. Actually,
Oh,
science,
no,
sorry.
never mind. No, go ahead. It was a brittle star anyway.
Ah, the deceptive brittle stars.
I saw the arm and I thought it was a stalk.
So once you get caught up, Jess, if you do see some of the squirrel tails, you can do a quick zoom on it.
Well, those are my favorites, so that sounds
Yep.
great.
You'll see them before us, so that's why.
Roger that.
We have the delay. Seems like it should be the other way around, because then we call something out, you know.
Yeah, even in the backscatter, there's a little break here. Cool, I caught that.
That's pretty accurate.
Meredith said one just went by on the left, the squirrel tails, but it was in the mud, so not as exciting.
Oh,
There's
do
a
we miss
couple.
one?
Now it's the specific squirrels we're looking for.
We'll find another
Yeah,
one.
so we're looking for them. Well, we're looking for them when they're stuck on rocks,
Oh, Raj.
because that's a different species. So it really only matters in the rocky areas, but I could always zoom in on one otherwise.
Roger that. Couple little swallowtails.
Looks like after V, we'll hit some, probably another sponge field.
Be a real roller coaster ride for the annotator.
Yep, they'll wish they were here in the mud, and then it's like, no, we're going to start the transect in the hard stuff. And how far have we gone since the end of the transect?
Yeah, I think we've come about 100. Yeah, we've 115 meters from there. The one thing is, yeah, actually this might be a good place to start. Like the last 50 meters might be a little downslope, but yeah, this would be good.
Yeah, and let's set up for another one, because we're just cruising across the mud, so we might as well do one.
Roger.
Roger that.
Yeah, it's still 020.
020, Raj. All right. Stepping forward. Or, sorry, Ben, did you want me to?
You're good?
Yeah.
Yep. Marked it.
Raj.
All right, back on transect.
Easy as that.
Does Taylor Ann still want some urchins?
I think she'll always take some more whenever chance to collect.
So we're on transect now, but maybe we'll pick some up at the end, or if they're still around.
All right, yeah, let's do it.
We can do a core then also, if it's still mud.
Nice.
Roger that.
Like now we're looking for mud. Gosh.
See a break transect for whoever's annotating. Had a busy one and muddy one.
Yep.
Telling you, roller coaster ride.
Keeping them on their toes.
Yeah. Be crying Monday.
So is this the uphill section, or is this the downhill?
Bridge.
Are they having fun at this one, or how does that work for the roller coaster?
It's a good question. Technically, we're on the uphill section right now, so...
Yeah, we're going
Okay.
slightly uphill, and then the downslope part on the western side of this ridge is going to be much steeper and much shorter.
So I think the uphill part of it is roller coaster.
What?
I think we're on the uphill part of the roller coaster. Is that the intention?
Yeah, yeah. Start raising our hands in about 150 meters. Whoa.
So in your mind, do you in your mind do you hear the clanking and the chain of the roller coaster?
There we go. Now I hear it. Whoa. Oh my God, my psyche. Every dive gives me a little different of a vibe.
What was your vibe last dive?
What was my dive? Well, I only really remember one part of it now. No, I was excited to get to that summit. I was we were close to it. I was curious what was going to be on that like little cliff on the edge of it. But
Yeah, one of our last images was that nice paragorgid.
oh no,
So it was
taunting.
It was changing right as we left.
Yeah. Yeah, those
You gotta look at
environments
the
are so
ROVs back.
sporadic with whatever boulders exist, there's stuff, and then it's not.
Yep.
So close to the top.
What would the name of this roller coaster be?
Has to be spongy. All the sponges.
Sponge coaster.
That works.
Sponge Palooza?
Sponge Palooza, yeah.
How about the sponge hop and drop?
Of course, Marley's was way better.
We have some of these Stercolyptus type, some Thenias, the little round yellow ones.
Lots of those.
Yep. Big hole in this white one.
So the crabs can see out.
It's this window.
It's a big one. Is that the Tanner crab?
Yes.
Oh,
That
yes.
is a grooved Tanner crab, yes.
Cool. Definitely don't know the family though.
Tanner a day.
Yeah, there we go. Tanner a day.
Cyanocetes.
Okay.
Ooh, a knocked over barrel.
I wonder if that thing right in front of us is a super sedimented barrel or it's just rock, mud, sedimented sponge.
Yeah, it could be a really degraded sponge. It's now just collapsed.
Yeah.
Yeah, Abby says these lysocene sponges tend not to stay together as well. Once they pass on, the spicules just come apart. They're different than the heterocone that maintains its structure.
I see.
And these barrels will just kind of melt away. The Dover sole.
Probably a matter of
Looking
how
at
the
these.
spicules are arranged, I guess. Or I don't know.
Could be. The heterocones out here, they seem to provide such habitat for everything else. And if they weren't here, half these sponges seem like they'd be gone.
So Tom, are you thinking these are Staurocalyptus, the larger ones, even with the wider top?
I'm thinking that. What are you thinking they're, whatever those are, Genolesmas or whatever, however you say that?
I don't
They don't,
know. Some of them,
yeah,
the
there's
ones
another,
with the ones with the skinnier opening at the top definitely look Staurocalyptus, but the ones where they form more of a vase, I'm
like the one we're
confused.
passing now.
Correct.